10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Alright guys, welcome to CEVO Season 4. We are actually in Week 6 already. This is going to be Bird's Nest up against Wild. I do apologize that we did not have the previous game, Top 5 versus SNA plus 4. They actually had a previous tournament that they couldn't make it to ours instead. So, not casting them. Bird's Nest and Wild should be a pretty exciting match though. If you're just now joining us, for CEVO Ever, my name is Prove Attitude. I am here with Ever. And we've been doing this for 6 weeks now, and we still have, let's see, 2 more weeks. And then I think there's a week break for the playoffs. And then the playoffs will be, I don't know, over like 2 weeks or something. I'm not too sure.
Who needs breaks? We need Dota.
You got a lot of time for those makeup matches, you know?
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, makeup match week isn't a bad week. Allows teams to kind of get through the forfeit, wins, loss, like sections of just not being able to schedule. So definitely understand coming from a player who used to participate heavily in Counter-Strike, and that was the nature of things, but still a system that's around that's designed quite well. This draft is flying out though, as Invoker, Visage, Lycan, and Dazzle all picked up. Lycan in exchange for, I guess, Naga makes it through.
Yeah, he does. Lycan's a brutal hero, and combining with Dazzle is such a good combo. Even if, you know, you have a medallion on top of that, Lycan does so much physical damage that something like Roshan can die so fast with medallion Lycan. It's something that you definitely have to keep your eye on and try to prevent that from happening.
With this Axe versus Dazzle, I mean, I understand
Calling
Blade goes through. I know. But still, it's immediately someone picks Dazzle, and if you don't ban Axe, everyone just picks him. They're like, yeah, well, Culling Blade goes through. That's great. What if your Axe is dead?
Well, from what we've seen so far, at least in CEVO, it seems like Axe has been effective not only in that, but he's a great hero in the off lane. He's pretty tanky, hard to take down. So he provides a lot of options for the team. If he can really get going, he provides a lot to a team other than just that dunk. But, I mean, you have a hero like Dazzle that can save your carry from getting killed off, and Axe prevents that. So I think it's something that can't be overlooked at all, because it's not like Axe is a bad hero and he just has dunk. He's still a pretty well-rounded hero on top of that.
I actually dislike him as a well-rounded hero. I think he makes sense between his synergy of abilities, but I don't think in the meta he has an appropriate place in any given lane where he can garner farm from, unless it is a very aggressive lane or something to the effect of middle, as we've seen him in. That's probably the only lane I view him as viable in, because he doesn't have much health early on. Other than that, he's stuck in the jungle to me, and jungle heroes are subjective. I think other heroes get it done in the jungle a lot quicker than he does, but what he provides in terms of utility to a team fight, and I actually was just going to compare him to Clockwork as Wild picks up Clock, is a shutdown element that is tanky on the front lines, that is able to contribute tremendously, whether or not it be an ultimate that gets him into there. Yes, he can deal damage through things like Battle Hunger, and he can beef up his armor and force people to attack him, but he's more of an initiation element that you incorporate into your lineup, and if you get around to the Culling Blade, great. I just don't think he's as strong as other options, but he's been a favorite simply because if Culling Blade hits on the Shallow Grave target, or even if the first target goes down, Culling Blade is still technically off of cooldown, and I get that attraction. I just don't like the way he lanes personally.
Yeah, he's kind of like a finisher. You know, if you can do enough damage with, you know, someone like, say, an Invoker and get heroes that low of HP, Axe can theoretically just go in there and just dunk all the heroes because of that no cooldown. So it was a really neat change to have that just reset the cooldown. I think that was really interesting, and I guess it did make him more viable. I would kind of agree with you that there might be better options for initiation, but if he does blink in and he catches heroes, then you have all the Invoker AoE that's going to come out. You have Visage familiars that are going to be able to land their stuns on top of that. So it is kind of wombo combo-y, and you do have to get that Blink Dagger farmed up on top of that. But I don't think he's a terrible pickup. We do have some bans, Timbersaw and Slark banned out here. And getting to the last few picks here, Wind Ranger is going to be the pickup for Bird's Nest. And Rubik is picked up as well, kind of hoping to maybe deal with that Axe. He can, you know, throw Axe back if Axe blinks in, telekinesis him back and away from the allies.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Oh man, I'm already failing 10 seconds in here. I was gonna say the only time I enjoy Axe is in this particular lineup is the fact that he can shut a Lycan down. It doesn't matter his movement speed; he's going to be able to pull his attention off if he can land the call correctly. Though, taking a look at the lineup, there's so much depth to Wild's lineup. You have a Lycan who is uninhibited move speed. The only thing he's going to be subject to is stun. If Invoker disarms him with something like a Deafening Blast, that's great. Wind Ranger can shackle. Visage can't do absolutely anything but try and land a familiar stun, but if he's savvy to what's going on or has a BKB at a certain point in the game, he's going to be a huge threat, always having a Clockwork to follow him through. Dazzle, Weave, there's a lot of great things that are going on with the Wild lineup, and I don't know how much I enjoy seeing the negative armor that's going to come out up against the Burn's Nest lineup, though they're going to have to play hard to kind of counteract what's going on. Axe is an early to mid-game hero, in my opinion, and then you have your Invoker. Well, no, excuse me, not an early game hero. I would say a mid-game hero.
Yeah.
My apologies. He doesn't do much early. He's more of a mid-game hero. Late game, he doesn't finish so well. But during that mid game, if they can get rolling, it depends on what build the Invoker goes. Is it going to be Quaswex or is it going to be Exort? I would lean more towards Quaswex, but honestly, every Invoker has their own play style. Just to recap kind of where we're at here, Bird's Nest needs a carry. Wild also will need a mid, presumably to take on Invoker, unless they flip the Invoker somewhere else, which I was thinking they might stick Axe in mid.
Yeah, it's definitely a possibility. So Wild is going to be minusing armor, minusing attack damage from the Rubik, and Drow is picked up, so that does help kind of what Rubik provides to Wild by minusing that armor. Drow is going to give them, or minusing that damage rather. Drow is going to give them back that damage, and they have a decent push strategy too. With Drow, Axe can burn down waves pretty easily, and Visage sets up those fights, and the Queen of Pain. So that is going to be your mid of choice for Wild. I was hoping we could see a Dazzle mid, but not going to happen this game. We'll just have to keep on waiting, I guess.
It's never going to happen unless we go back to the Malaysian scene and
no.
start casting.
We need to cast Revenge again.
Was it? No, it wasn't Revenge. It was
I thought
Mineski.
Revenge did it once. I thought either Smash or Misco.
Nope.
I thought they did it once too. No?
Nope.
Okay. Let's cast some Malaysian Dota then. What are we doing in North America?
I know. What do we even have to do with this scene in
I don't
spite
know.
of living here?
It's like we live here.
Yeah, exactly. Who lives here? Getting down to some introductions, guys. For Team Wild, Fuzzte Footsie rather, on Dazzle. Andrew Riley, one of our good friends, playing up that Lycan. Impulse on Queen of Pain. Jean-Pac on Rubik, and Rolo taking up the Clockwork. Little Shagbark Courier action.
So cute. Over on the Dire side, we have the Bird's Nest sitting up here with Visage. He's quite the bird himself. That's going to be how do we always say this? I think it's just 604 is what we usually call him. I always forget what we call him. Revolution will be on the Axe. W4 is on that Drow Ranger now. Big Bad Bird is Invoker mid. And finally down here, Evs is going to be on Windrunner. Evs, that's kind of like your name.
Yeah, kind of.
He's
It'd be
still
like
your name.
if you shorten my name even shorter than 4 letters, it would be 3 letters.
I know, it's
and
pretty short.
Good catch out. Look at this call out on this OBS right now. Just nailing it. 604. Loses half his HP, gains 50 gold, and that sentry will allow for a lot better rotation coming out of the jungle, where it seems that Axe will indeed be starting from. Stout shield and some tangos to cater his way there. Drow going to be forced to kind of 1v1 up against Clockwork with some soft support from the Visage, but I like the way that they elected to lane this. As long as Axe can get enough going in the jungle in time, that will be up to Visage and how much Visage wants to contribute or is able to help contribute, at least stacking a few camps so Axe can get the snowball effect running. The big lane to probably keep an eye on for you guys watching is going to be Queen of Pain versus the Invoker. Whatever happens there is going to allow either side to be a ton more mobile, as where the other 2 lanes are very farm-centric.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for the Invoker because usually, Invoker holds his lane so well. You get one more hero in there and it's easy to get a kill with Cold Snap. But someone like Queen of Pain is probably going to be able to blink out or something like that unless you're allowing enough right-click damage from some source to keep proccing that Cold Snap. So I don't think there's going to be much happening in the mid lane, but both these heroes should be able to lay down quite a bit of harassment, at least get some decent farm. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Rolo getting himself into some trouble. He's not going to go down this time, but definitely Bird's Nest is asserting their dominance, and W4 is going to be getting so many creep kills in this lane and not really getting contested. He's got Visage here to help him out, and Axe is even going to be able to pull the creeps if they want to do that.
That range that Drow and Visage have is so sweet between the two of them. Rolo can throw up cogs all he wants, but as long as W4 stays in a favorable position, you saw him on this side while Visage was over here. Even if the cogs box comes up the way it did, there's no way they're going to proc that minus mana. Therefore, you're seeing some heavy harassment just come down right on top of him, and there's not going to be much he can do. He needs to stay well away from the creep wave or he's going to risk dying. And again, they're going on him. Cogs comes up. They are evading. Look at Visage just sneakily move around Cogs. I think he thought he had it, but now already out of regen, just a minute and 47 into this lane because he kept being extremely pushy, trying to actually attain some melee last hits against two very strong auto attack heroes early on into the game. So not wanting Drow to get free farm, I understand, but again, they're going to look to have a go, slow him down. 604 following up with an auto, and they'll let it go as he gets one step too far for their taste. Cold Snap mid lane in the meantime applied to Impulse, and Impulse can't blink away, takes the full duration, going down to 200 HP. Big win for Invoker there, even though that fight was kind of uphill.
Evs is getting fended off on that lane, still sitting at level 1, so at least Clockwork is getting some experience despite it being very risky to do so, and if he's not careful, he could easily get picked off here. I think at level 3, they should for sure be able to get a kill on him. If he's out of position, they can definitely capitalize on it. You're looking at, Soul Assumption leveled up. Drow might, she'll be level 4 actually by the time Visage is level 3, so we can see even more into that aura. So they definitely have the damage output. Rolo moving forward up a little bit more, kind of scouting things out here. He's got to be careful. He knows Axe isn't around. He's, pulling creeps and whatnot. So he does have to deal with just those two heroes. But I think the two heroes alone are definitely viable to pick him off. So doing some harassment, burns some mana away. That will help him survive in the future, but it's not too much mana burn at the time.
In the meantime, Queen of Pain, Hastrune, making her way towards that tier 2, not able to pick up on Revolution, who is all the wiser due to that obs that you are now circling. So instead, Emma right on top, or Impulse rather, right on top of the Big Bad Bird. Cold Snap again for half his HP. He has no bottle charges this time around. He wants to get in some AoE, whiffs Big Bad Bird, and Big Bad Bird will just kind of stick around. Had boots shipped to his person instead of a bottle, which is fine. So his damage as a result is going to be able to follow up. Meanwhile, Rolo top lane, first blood, able to get out without a quarrel other than taking down the Visage, who was overextended thanks to a well-placed and timed battery assault. Bottom lane, Evs taking some harassment, holding on to that Windrun, and if they manage to catch Evs while Windrun is active with that Rubik's telekinesis on a rotation, they could be looking at an easy kill, but Rubik needs to get over here first and foremost. But you see he's already catering to the jungle, trying to keep some XP on that Lycan, as it's already 4 minutes and Lycan is only level 3, but they are doing a decent job trying to zone the Windrunner, who's already out of regeneration. But Big Bad Bird making his way down right on top of Andrew. It doesn't seem like they're any wiser. They have no obs to spot this. Will get caught out, so Footsie is going to be the subject of interest. Cold Snap applied immediately. Look at the damage coming out, and actually it looked like the tornado saved his life. I believe the damage on Power Shot connected, but he goes down. Nonetheless, Evs, benefactor of that last hit, and ties things up 1-1.
Dazzle also used the solve. He was trying to get away, popped the solve in between the Invoker right clicks, but used the solve, did not save him, unfortunately. So evening the score up 1-1 here, but I felt like Dazzle can fend off that lane just fine and protect Andrew, so it's a good idea that we do see John Pack pulling the creeps, because it's definitely going to help spread the experience out. It's going to give John Pack the money to keep buying wards and sentries and, anything like that, any type of supporty items. Top lane, I'm surprised Rolo got that kill, but I guess it does just come down to one well-placed cogs, and if you trap a hero in there at these lower levels, Drow isn't going to be able to do enough damage in time, so definitely paid off. I'm still entirely surprised by it, but Rolo's doing a great job in his lane so far. Mid lane, Bottle is back to Queen of Pain, so she's able to sustain herself in this lane a little longer against Big Bad Bird. And right now, she's doing just fine, actually beating the Invoker in terms of CS.
I think Queen of Pain has done a fine job, minus the 2 cold snaps she's eaten. It would have been much more beneficial to see her able to rotate over on some of those kills, but Rolo was able to take care of himself. In the meantime, you see Footsie and company right here with Jean-Pac looking to rotate behind this Invoker, and actually Queen of Pain pushed the lane, which I don't know how much of that was indeed intentional. Illusion Rune gets popped right on top of an OBS, and they had to have some sort of idea that the OBS was there, but instead you see Rolo TPing out, almost getting a hold of 604 on that top side, as the rotation still looks to come in, waiting on the bottom of the hill, and instead they're going to walk right into the creep wave, and smoke crisis averted for Bird's Nest, not able to garner any advantage. Again, cold snap applied to Impulse middle, taking her down to half health, and it looks like not going to be able to do anything yet again. Really unfortunate. Queen of Pain has a hard time. Invoker gonna have a go. Thinks he's got enough movement speed, and he does.
Oh
he
my
just
gosh.
tornadoes and outs the Queen of Pain, who blinked moments ago away from the cold snap, and he's able to finish her off before she can walk away. And this allows a rotation coming up on Invoker to top lane, where 3 heroes on the Radiant side for Wild are waiting.
I'm surprised that they grabbed that Illusion Rune in mid. It definitely gave away the position. I think Queen of Pain could have just gotten there in time, and they knew where the rune was at and everything. Probably could have beaten Invoker there as well. So kind of weird giving away their position like that. It didn't matter since Rolo had to TP out on that top lane, so the whole smoke was kind of rendered useless anyways. But I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Bottom lane Lycan's getting a lot of farm, which is great for Wild. Queen of Pain going on and on the kill, and actually succeeds in getting it just fine. Used the Sonic Wave to do so, but it pans out just fine for her. She picks up a kill, and the rune will be spawning soon, but she's not even hurt. Just a little bit of mana missing.
It was like a victory theme song playing at the end of that. His big ultimate's coming down. Axe right now coming to help out. Jean-Pac in a lot of trouble, going on W4, and he is in no man's land. Don't even need the support of Axe to finish that through, as Rolo was looking in the trees to see if he could bait it, and hook shot right on W4. Captures 2 in cogs, which is unfortunate for him. All the damage won't be centered on W4, and therefore W4 takes the double kill, as he is well out of his league on top of that tower just 8 minutes in. No chance did he stand there, and Impulse is going to go up against Big Bad Bird. Big Bad Bird right on top, needs the blink, cold snap immediately. Follow-up TP, Jean-Pac is back. Big Bad Bird in trouble, still has haste. Good tornado to try and get himself away, and QQ walk immediately. Sentry doesn't matter. I don't know if Jean-Pac knew he had haste. Otherwise, that sentry may have been averted, and it's not even going to catch this OBS, as we are stuck right here, Proof. So not enough distance.
Yeah, it's not even like a close one, because sometimes you get them when they're right on the edge of it. So that one's not even that close, unfortunately. Top lane, looks like we're going to have a go on 604. They might have enough with Rolo here, just needs to catch him in the cogs. Battery assault is applied, stuck in there, there's no one nearby. 604 is dead by all means. No TPs to come in and try and save him. Meanwhile, Jean-Pac runs back to the bottom lane, trying to protect Andrew. Andrew does not have that shackle connected to him, so he's going to be fine, but Evs is not going to be so lucky. Invoker is nearby. Can he get in fast enough to be able to help? Cold snap applied to Andrew, but it's just him attacking him, so it's not going to be enough. Evs might survive out of here. Andrew in some trouble, dodges the power shot, but not the tornado. He's going to run out of here, but not fast enough. Despite being a wolf, he just can't get out of there in time. And top lane, Drow secures a kill on Rolo, a solo kill actually.
He was like, where do I go? I'm being cold snap. Oh, dunk right on that mid lane. Just blink in. And Revolution hit that blink dagger very well. Able to get in on Impulse before he's able to do anything. So just instantly dunks him and punishes him for being out of position. Good obs ward in the back. Able to spot him out. Regardless, he was right on top of the creeps. Just trying to get some farm while Big Bad Bird was away from the lane. In the meantime, Visage shows up, smokes up Revolution, and they will head towards the bottom side. They're going to catch a Dazzle out first if they manage to notice it, but actually will be able to hide themselves in between two, so really lucky thus far. Right on top of Andrew now. Andrew gets caught out with that call. Cold excuse me, Grave Chill going to be applied. Soul Assumption coming through, not enough to finish off as Dazzle joins them and the Wolves start ripping into the Visage. They have 3 here though. Power Shot lined up, and actually they are able to get the Lycan simply because of that battle hunger, and that goes to show you just how strong of a hero Axe can be. 1 level in to Berserker's Call just to set things up for someone like the Windrunner or even Visage in that case, but full level battle hunger just eating him alive.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, it's definitely effective. You know, you throw it on somebody when they're running and they can't do anything. They can run back in and try and get a creep kill. And if they do, they have the possibility of getting picked off. And now, Axe, he's at it again. This time he gets Footsie. He might be in some trouble. Needs to pop the Grave Chill in time. Still saving it. Heals himself up. He might just get dunked here, just slightly out of range. Axe has no boots, but the Blink is going to catch him up. Grave Chill, or Shallow Grave is going to save him. Oh, he doesn't get away. Wind
Why did he
Ranger's
dunk
there.
him? You just wanted to save it?
Has fallen.
You can dunk through the Shallow Grave. That's the point. Big
I
Bad
don't
Bird in the
know.
meantime, though, takes out Jean-Pac right on top of the tower, and not able to do anything yet is Rollo. Hook shot down, not really in the best of sorts. Bottle empty, low mana. 30 seconds away from any sort of cooldown as you see 604 and Evs running away to this middle lane, just trying to clear things through as they have lost their tier 1. But in exchange, they have gotten a plethora of kills. Bird's Nest leading this game 11-5, 61 for 7 is Queen of Pain mid lane creep count. 57-0 is Axe, who did a phenomenal job in the jungle, followed by Drow at 53-10. So Bird's Nest really pushing things. And while Andrew Riley, is equal, he's died 2 times in the past couple of minutes here on farm, and he lost any advantage he had. And you'll see the difference in gold earned is actually coming back towards Wild because they're doing a good job in farming, but the experience differential will still take that severe spike downward. We're looking at over a little bit over 3K, almost 4K right now. Was over 4K at one point in a lead, but if these kills continue the way that they're evolving, look for Wild to just not have a chance to catch their breath.
And Andrew did go for that Midas pickup. I'm not quite sure when he picked it up, but that's going to help out the gold a little bit. But he's going to be lacking Vlad's Medallion, Necrobook, so he needs to get towards that so they can actually make some things happen. So far, he hasn't really been a factor in this game at all. But, you know, at this point in the game, you have Clockwork and Queen of Pain, who can really make things start to happen for their team. Queen of Pain almost gets picked off in the mid lane. Shackle Shot cannot connect with that, unfortunately, so she does just blink out of there. But they've got to be careful. You have an Axe with a Blink Dagger right now. Even has the brown boots, might just get called here. Does get called in here. Emma doesn't stand a chance. The power shot goes through and dunked out of Revolution. Will secure that kill for them. Queen of Pain didn't stand a chance, and now top lane. Lycan, he's trying to get out of here. He has some support from John Pack, but it's not going to be enough. Cyclones him into the air. Familiar Suns come down, stun him out, and he is dead. Lycan does make it out of there, so at least saving the carry and taking the support instead is good for Wild. But now mid lane, Rollo is going to be in trouble, trying to go heads up against Evs. Evs is just going to power shot this for the kill. If he can land it in time, just going to do a couple right clicks. Here goes the power shot. It's dodged, but Rollo might just be running into some enemies if he continues on that direction. The shackle shot misses, unfortunately, but he still goes down. Wolves are going to deal some damage to Evs, but that Windrun is going to get her out of there just fine.
What a hilarious turn of events. Rollo didn't want to let things lie, and he's the only one who's been very efficient at what he's done for this Wild squad, who is now chasing down Rubik topside. They may yet succeed a kill as a result, and actually does take an ultimate impulse, able to get it off before the Visage Familiar stunner through, but even then, I don't think there was a shot for him to get away. Severe overextension there as Jean-Pac is able to go ahead, heal his way through. Meanwhile, behind them, Big Bad Bird, QQ walked up, just needs to kind of invoke a new spell. Will have it in 4, so was waiting for that. Actually, immediately implies an Earn Charge onto Rubik, kills him out. Queen of Pain makes a dash for the river, and no further support other than the Visage Familiars is in the vicinity, so they're not going to be able to follow this through. And instead, he feeds one of the Familiars and both of the Familiars over to Impulse. Seems like a win-win. Cold Snap applied, but not going to be able to do anything yet, and Revolution daringly tries to dive in there and grab hold, but instead it's Rollo who hook shots Big Bad Bird, who instantly QQ walks. Dust applied, he's revealed. Rollo gonna go down as well as Impulse. Impulse blinks away, and Rollo is on the run, but will die to the hunger, but instead killed by the neutral creeps. Meanwhile, Queen of Pain still making a bid for her life, forced to TP to well, but lives as a result.
That shackle shot landed up perfectly and hit those two heroes, connected them together, which allowed them to at least get Rollo, and Queen of Pain did almost go down there. Luckily, blinked into the woods and TP'd out immediately so the Battle Hunger could not finish her off. So 16-7, a push on this top lane is going to come on down. 4 levels into that Precision Aura is going to be pretty brutal for any push that they decide to do. Mech is picked up on Wind Ranger, so definitely helps out with those pushes as well. And there's really no chance for Lycan to get Roshan anytime soon with them not being on the dire side hurts a lot. Plus, Visage Familiars are able to scout out any Roshan attempt and get there in time. So it's a very hard Roshan for this Lycan to be able to do.
He went Midas as well, and he's just finished up Vlad's in the past minute or so here. Queen of Pain working towards Orchid, which would be great if they can manage to focus anything. But the problem is they don't have that minus armor effect rolling, so you see Bird's Nest just controls almost the entirety of this map. Rotation on bottom. Andrew in a lot of trouble in a matter of moments here as Big Bad Bird is on his way. Rollo able to maybe defend if he can land a good cogs here, but the entirety of Bird's Nest is rotating on the bottom tier 1. Meanwhile, there is a split push going on top as Queen of Pain tries to take down the tier 1 in exchange. We'll see if Impulse decides to show up. Jean-Pac in trouble, will immediately go down here. Will Axe take the kill? Instead, gives it to Big Bad Bird. Weave applied. Dazzle trying to do something, instead gets taken out, and now the tower's going to go down. Andrew trying to run away in wolf form gets shackled and will go down as well. That is 3 for Wild, and they are just not having a good game here, Proof.
It's definitely rough. They went for the Rubik. 2 heroes got revealed in the woods, and the Grave could not get applied to the Rubik in time, and then Dazzle got picked off, and Lycan was just free to kill by the rest of the team. It's a lot of damage, and it's quick damage. You know, Drow can burst someone down very, very quickly, and then you have Revolution or even 604 who can just throw out their nukes with the dunk or either through the Soul Assumption. So it's very, very quick damage. 1W4 makes works of that. So it's a tough game for them to come back from, but they just need to get some really good defenses coming on and some really good initiation on top of that. Rollo is sneaking around back, and I don't think this is quite the position that he wants to go in. But they're going to try it. The tower is down, and they're going to fight this, and I don't know if this is the time to fight. If they can cancel TP, they can't. They do single out Revolution. He does go down here easily with all the heroes around, but it is going to buy time for the rest of his allies to get on out of here. WB4 is going to TP out. No one close enough to stop that TP from happening. So just getting the Axe kill for the tower, it's not a great trade for Wild.
Taking a look in, as you see Clockwork still has yet to complete next to anything as the courier comes his way. It is a 4-staff for Rollo, and he's probably, again to mention, the most successful player that Wild has thus far. He's 5 for 4, Impulse being 3 for 4, not having a good time against Big Bad Bird. Her Orchid is nearly complete, just needs to finish up that second staff. And right now, Initiation looks to be going down. EMP, bottom lane. Impulse going to lose all of her mana and goes down anyways due to the damage. And it looks like Visage is going to live, as it may have gone down had they followed through. But instead, Wild tries to retreat in exchange for just the tower. And I don't believe it got denied. No, Dazzle got the last hit. Footsie actually goes down as a result of sacrificing himself, or maybe just not getting a step ahead in the trees, and is unable to port through. So they give up 2 in exchange for 1. Visage does die. Did you see what killed him? Was that Clock? That's the only thing.
It was Queen of Pain, so I'm pretty sure it was Shadow Strike damage.
It was a Shadow. Yeah. How unfortunate.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna live, but
I saw the earn charge on him from Big Bad Bird, and I figured it was enough to get him to live, but miscall from me, as it looks like they're going to do this Roche with ease. They're going to try and deny Andrew Riley, all the wiser to what's going on. Doesn't get it. Drow Ranger able to pick it up immediately, and actually will pick up 2 wolves for her trouble as well. 1 goes to Visage, excuse me. So 22 for 10. I don't see a path for Wild to get back into this game. Unfortunately, just too many early game mistakes. Drow already has a BKB, and Aegis didn't really need to do anything in any of these fights except for just kind of slow people down. And as the game progresses, she is much better in the mid to late game, as Lycan just doesn't have the farm to contest anything that she does.
Yeah, they don't even need the lockdown either for Andrew. If he gets hit by, one or two things, a familiar or maybe a shackle shot, and he's done. He doesn't have a BKB to negate any of that damage that we're going to see out of Invoker. And he can block some damage out of Drow with his plus armor from Vlad's, but it doesn't really matter because he's only sitting at 1000 HP still. So it's rough. Axe in the fray. They're just going to go for the Raxus though. Nice and easy kills for them. They do still have the Aegis, they have Mech, they have BKB on that Drow as well, so they are completely geared up to push down these towers, and they do actually back up, and I'm not too sure why. They did get the melee racks at the very least, but it seems like they might be kind of scared of Emma on the top lane, who just continues on pushing. But honestly, I don't think there's a huge rush for Bird's Nest. They know that they've got a decent lead at this point, so they're willing to just, take the racks, take what racks they could, back up, and then just go in another day when their cooldowns and manas are back.
Their manas?
Their manas. They have more than one mana.
All right. I hope. Man, there's more than one mana bar according to the Prove attitude. I think it was a good concession. I really do on the mid tower. I still don't think they have a path back into the game, but they certainly couldn't throw another team fight. It would have come at the cost of them risking that bottom racks as well. So good play on them to actually just take two top towers. They take the tier 1, they take the tier 2, try and even things up in terms of gold. And while we're paused, taking a look at gold, 7,500 lead for Bird's Nest, as well as almost a 10k experience differential that Wild is facing down. If they're going to do it, it's got to come from a huge play from Rolo separating his team, as well as Andrew Riley finally able to lock down just about anyone. Possibly Revolution gets locked away from Lycan and Lycan just runs amok. Potentially with the Shallow Grave is the only scenario where I see things going well. Even with BKB, Drow should still be relatively squishy. She does have 1200 HP, but Lycan, if he gets some RNG crits, it will indeed be enough to bring her down. That's the only path to victory I see in any of these fights, but the more likely outcome is that Visage is going to shut down anything he can with those familiars to that effect. You're going to see Revolution go in and lock up some of the more key heroes like Dazzle before the fight even begins. And if they manage to do that, the rain down of AoE between Big Bad Bird and Evs is way too much for the opposing squad to handle. And even if he does get a hold of Drow, you're talking about a mechanism he's got to eat through as well, which is not favorable in his position, especially when he cannot get that debuff up after it's been removed for a few seconds longer on a Drow that has BKB.
I'm curious to see how much a factor this counter helix is going to be, because once that Necro book is finished, you're going to have 5 units just from Andrew Riley alone attacking that axe. So if he gets in there and he's near a lot of heroes, especially if he's able to call a few heroes, I think we're probably going to see quite a few helixes procced on his end, and that damage is nothing to scoff at in this game when you have some low life heroes, especially Dazzle. He's got to make sure his position is good, because if he gets picked off, I mean, there's no way he can do anything for his team whatsoever, even potentially not even getting a weave off in a team fight. So he's got to make sure his position's good, because he is very squishy. He's going for the complete savior build, not leveling up the poison touch. They didn't need it in the lane to be aggressive or help win that lane at all. So now he does have 2 into the Shallow Grave and 4 into the wave. So able to keep his allies alive and save people as long as he doesn't get picked off. And on the bright side, they don't have someone like, say Nyx that can sneak around to the back of the fight and pick off Footsie before he can actually do anything. So that is the silver lining for Wild. But if he gets jumped on, shackle shotted, just pounded on by Drow, he could go down very quickly.
Insert X number of stuns, I guess, and it's just going to be a detriment to anything Wild has. So they can't get stunned is essentially, I think, what we're saying.
Yeah,
if they get stunned, it's pretty much over, which is unfortunate.
And Bird's Nest doesn't even have great single target stun. You have the Visage Familiars, which are a semi-skill shot, Invoker has a few stun spells. And
all they need is Axe, though, is all I'm saying.
It is.
1 or 2 of the supports, and it's enough AoE to shut him down before the response, unfortunately. Even if Dazzle's quick on the trigger, you have Axe to just Culling Blade through. So
that's true. It's going to be positioning for Wild. When they're defending, they've got to make sure that they're not grouping up on anybody. If they group up, it's over with all the AoE and the Axe call. There's
I really
no
think
way
it's just up to Rolo shutting Axe down. That's it. But if he shuts Axe down, Big Bad Bird is just going to probably steamroll everyone at this stage. What is his net worth? Yeah, 10k. Jesus Christ. All right. Yeah, 10k on the Drow in a matter of moments as well. like in the only one close at 8.4k, but it's subjective, being that he has 3 heroes on Bird's Nest who are right around or greater than his own farm. Queen of Pain trying to do what she can, but the Orchid pickup is not going to be enough unless they catch Big Bad Bird before he is able to be more effective than anything. So it looks like they're going to push on through towards this Rax. W4 still has the Aegis for a while longer, and a lot of damage coming down. That Precision Aura contributing. Tornado will not connect to anyone as they are all spread out. We'll see if Rolo chooses to initiate. Still looking to see who he can grab. Not able to get a hold of Axe, who's sitting way in the background. Instead, latches onto one of the familiars. No damage is really dealt out of that, and he gets killed immediately. Game over. Andrew gonna go down next, as well as Jean-Pac almost simultaneously. Double kill Revolution, nearing a triple kill if he follows this through. Oh man, doesn't dunk again. Dominating streak for W4. 4 down. Wild call to GG, and we're on to game 2.
Tough game for Wild. Unfortunately, we're just kind of on the back foot for the beginning part of the game, but they do have a chance here to come back. It is a best of 3, so we're going to bring you guys game 2 in just a second here. And for those of you that want the portraits to be moving, I guess I can turn it on for you. I just had it off because my computer was overheating for a while, and I'm not a computer person, so I didn't know if that affected it or not, so I decided to turn portraits off. So I will turn it back on for you for game 2. Sit tight, guys. We'll see you soon.